I want you to think about the last time you ordered food late at night. You pulled out your phone, tapped a few buttons, and within the hour, a stranger was standing at your door handing you a warm bag, never asking what was inside your home. Now I want you to think about what I found behind one of those doors. Because after tonight, I promise you, you will never order delivery after midnight again. My name is Marcus. I was 24 years old when all of this started. I'd been doing night shift food delivery for about 2 years. College debt, a car payment, and a studio apartment that smelled like someone else's regret. The gig was simple. Pick up the food, drop off the food, collect the rating, move on. You don't think about the people on the other side of those doors. You learn not to. I was working in Columbus, Ohio, the east side. It's the kind of neighborhood where the gas stations have bulletproof glass and the streetlights go out in pairs like they're scared of the dark too. Most of my deliveries were quick. College kids, overnight workers, people too tired or too sad to cook. Normal, predictable. Until I got assigned to 1408 Holloway Drive. That was in early February, snow still on the ground. I remember because the roads were icy that night and I almost didn't take the order. I wish to God I hadn't. The app showed the address as just another pin on the map. No special instructions at first, just a name, Hargrove. Single order, beef stew with extra bread, 1 sweet tea, $8.60 plus tip. Simple. But when I pulled onto Holloway Drive, I felt it immediately. You know how certain places just feel wrong? Like the air is a few degrees colder than it should be? Like the silence is a different kind of silent. I've driven through rough neighborhoods at 2 a.m. and never felt it. Holloway Drive felt it at 11:30 on a Tuesday. The house was at the very end of the street. Every other house on the block had their porch lights off, their blinds down, their lives tucked away for the night. But 1408, one upstairs window was lit, warm orange light, and on the porch, someone had placed a potted plant. Fake flowers, purple. They looked almost cheerful against everything else. I grabbed the bag and walked up the path. The porch steps creaked, not the normal creak of old wood, but a slow, deliberate one, like each step was announcing me. I knocked, once. The door opened immediately, like they'd been standing behind it, waiting. A woman, older, 50s maybe. She was completely put together for nearly midnight, hair pinned, apron on, like she'd been expecting company for dinner hours ago, and simply kept waiting. She didn't smile. She didn't say thank you. She reached out, took the bag, and said exactly 5 words. "We'll see you tomorrow night." Then she closed the door. I stood on the porch for a second longer than I should have, because as she closed the door, I looked up, and at the top of the staircase inside that house, there was a little girl, maybe 8 years old, just standing there in the dark, looking straight at me. She didn't move, she didn't wave, she just watched. I walked back to my car fast, and when I checked the app to confirm the delivery, the order had already been rated 5 stars. The timestamp said the rating was submitted at 11:47 p.m. I'd been standing on that porch until 11:51. She was right. I came back the next night, and the night after that, because the orders kept coming through the app every single night between 11:15 and 11:30 p.m. without fail. Beef stew, extra bread, 1 sweet tea. The same order, every time, never a variation. The account name was always listed as E. Hargrove. Payment was always a card on file. The tip was always $2. I told myself it was good money, consistent, easy route. The house was only 6 minutes from the restaurant. I told myself there was nothing wrong with a woman who liked routine. But the details kept snagging in my mind like splinters. The woman never once said anything except variations of those same phrases. "Thank you, young man. We appreciate it. Same time tomorrow." She never asked my name. She never commented on the weather, the cold, nothing. She spoke like someone reciting lines they'd memorized but didn't fully understand. And the girl. I saw her 3 more times over the first month, always at the top of those stairs, always in the same spot, always watching. She never came closer. She didn't move. She was always wearing the same white nightgown. By April, I'd started parking differently, facing the house instead of away from it. I told myself it was so I could pull out faster. That was a lie. I was watching the house the way you watch something you're afraid to look away from. In late April, the instructions changed. I arrived to find a handwritten note tucked under the rubber band of the order. The restaurant staff said they hadn't put it there. It had just appeared. The note read in careful, old-fashioned cursive, "Please use the side gate tonight. Leave the bag by the back step. Do not look at the upstairs window on your way out." I stood in the parking lot of the restaurant reading that note 3 times, and I still drove to Holloway Drive. I used the side gate, I left the bag by the back step, I walked away, and I didn't look at the upstairs window. But as I reached my car, I heard it, faint, from above, tapping on glass. 3 times, slow and deliberate. In mid-May, I went back during the day for the first time. I told myself I was just in the neighborhood. I wasn't. I parked across the street and looked at 1408 Holloway Drive in full daylight, and my stomach dropped. The lower windows were boarded, the porch boards were rotted through in places, the paint was peeling in long, curling strips like sunburned skin. The house didn't look occupied, it looked abandoned. The only thing that seemed deliberate, the only thing that didn't match, were those fake purple flowers still sitting on the porch, impossibly bright. An older man from the house next door came out and stopped when he saw me staring. "You delivering something?" he called over. I said I had been, for months, almost every night. The man, his name was Mr. Calloway, he told me, went very still. He walked over slowly, like he was making sure of something. And then he said words I will never forget for as long as I live. "Son, that house has been empty for 34 years. Eleanor Hargrove died in 1989. Her whole family did. They found them at the kitchen table. The stew was still on the stove." He looked at me the way people look at someone who's standing too close to the edge of something. "Nobody lives in that house," he said quietly. "Nobody should." Mr. Calloway gave me the name of the historical society that had documented the Hargrove case. I found the newspaper archives online that night. Eleanor Hargrove, daughter Clara, husband Robert, found at the kitchen table on the morning of October 14th, 1989. No signs of forced entry, no signs of struggle. The medical examiner's report was sealed, which meant the cause of death was either deeply unusual or deeply inconvenient. The photograph in the paper stopped my blood cold. Eleanor Hargrove, same pinned hair, same composed expression. And the daughter, Clara, white nightgown, same face, same age as the girl I'd seen at the top of those stairs. I checked my delivery app. The account for E. Hargrove was still active. There was a new order already placed for that night. Beef stew, extra bread, 1 sweet tea. And in the special instructions field, something that had never been there before. 3 words. "We miss you." I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why did he go back? I've asked myself that every single day since. The only honest answer I have is this. Something in me needed to see it through. I'd spent 8 months carrying food to that door. Whatever was inside that house, it had accepted my presence for 8 months. It had said thank you. It had tipped exactly $2 every single time, like a ritual. And it had said it missed me. I drove to 1408 Holloway Drive one last time. I brought the food. Every window was lit. I'd never seen that before. The front door was open, not all the way, but ajar. Darkness just visible in the gap. As I walked up the porch steps, I could smell something. Beef stew, rich and heavy, coming from inside the house, fresh, hot, like someone was cooking. I pushed the door open. The inside of the house should not have looked the way it did. The wallpaper was perfect, the floors were clean. Family photographs covered every wall. Eleanor, the man, and Clara, over and over, in different frames, different sizes, all smiling that same careful smile. The smell of stew was overwhelming, and in the dining room, 3 figures sat at the table, still, waiting. The bowls were full and steaming. Tonight's bag was open on the table, already empty, though I was still holding it in my hand. In the corner of the room, a stack of takeout bags, folded, neat. Every single bag from every single delivery I'd made to this house over the past 8 months, kept and arranged like they meant something. The figure in the center chair turned her head toward me, slowly, the way a person moves in a dream, not quite in sync with real time. And she said in a voice that was warm and terrifyingly normal, "We saved you a seat, Marcus." She knew my name. I had never told her my name. Clara's head turned next, and when her eyes found mine, they were wrong. Not the color, not the shape. Wrong the way a mirror image is wrong when you look at it too long and realize it isn't following you anymore. I ran. I don't remember crossing the porch or reaching my car. I remember being on the highway, doing 80, all the lights in that house still visible in my rearview mirror, all of them going dark one by one as I watched, like it was going to sleep. I quit that night. I called the platform, deactivated my account, and left Columbus 2 weeks later. Moved to Portland, Oregon. New city, no history, no Holloway Drive. I got a regular job for a few months, warehouse work, but the bills piled up the way they do, and by October I signed up with a delivery app again. New city, clean slate, different platform. Last Friday I was sitting in my car outside a Thai place waiting on an order to be ready. It was 11:20 p.m. My first order of the night came through. I looked at the screen. Beef stew, extra bread, 1 sweet tea. My hands went cold. I told myself it was a coincidence. Thousands of people order beef stew. I scrolled to the delivery address, and my vision tunneled. The address was my apartment, my building, my unit number, which I had never listed on any food delivery profile, on any account, on anything. The customer name said E. Hargrove, and in the special instructions field, just 3 words: "We're already here." I looked up into my rearview mirror. I don't want to talk about what I saw in the back seat. I'll just say this. If you order food tonight, when the driver pulls up and their headlights sweep across your window, look carefully, because some of us aren't delivering the food anymore. Some of us are just finding out where you live.